Welcome back to the KickNPost YouTube channel and our new show, Teal and Steel, with your host, Amal. So, we didn't introduce you last week, Matt. Matt, how are you?
Hi, my name is Matt.
And we're going to hop right into, of course, the bulk of the show, Teal, Steel. Jags got a W this week.
Rare.
Jags got a W this week. The boys came out to play shutout. A lot of teams can't say they've done that this year. But shutout. No touchdowns allowed. No touchdowns allowed. No field goals allowed. Had Matt Ryan looking kind of rough. That offense looked like they were missing Michael Pittman a lot.
Mm-hmm.
JT couldn't really get going. I'm proud of the boys. I think we still have red zone issues, but we're able to do a lot outside of the red zone. Christian Kirk, second week in a row, playing like a wide receiver one. I told y'all that we're going to be balling with Christian Kirk. Yes, we paid him a lot, but he's showing up so far. So I'm all around, I think it was a good Sunday for the boys. But Travis Etienne, we talked about it last week, from a fantasy perspective, still not getting involved in the offense as much as we'd like him to. Yes, there's a decent amount of worry.
Because you got to think about the price you had to pay to get him. People were taking him in the third, fourth round. You were probably one of those people.
Nah. He didn't get that high.
He was getting picked up in the fourth round.
Fourth round, yeah, but third's a little bit high.
Well, okay. Yeah, fourth round. Talking about right.
But 50-50 split. The passing work we're expecting him to get, he's not getting that many targets. Honestly, James Robinson's almost matching his production there in terms of targets. The offense, even though it's improved, still not good enough to support a 50-50 split in the backfield if he's not going to get, like we said, a huge offload of targets. So, as a Travis Etienne owner in a lot of leagues, I am getting a little bit pressed for him getting usage. But is it sell time, sell high, buy low?
I wouldn't sell yet. I mean, it's still week 2. Let's see what he does. It's his second year. First year he was hurt.
Yeah.
But his whole first year he was hurt. So this is pretty much like his rookie year in a way. And because of that, I would say give it some time. Let's see a few more weeks. If James Robinson can stay healthy, I might be concerned in a couple weeks, though. If in a couple weeks it's still been the same, I'd be concerned.
My take on the whole thing as well is even though James Robinson's getting a lot of work, he hasn't really been productive. I know he's scored 3 touchdowns now in 2 weeks. That's fantastic. But he's averaging like 2.8 yards per carry. He's not really a strong producer on the ground right now. I feel like they'll start seeing that he's being inefficient, and maybe we'll get more Travis Etienne touches. But right now, that's just projection. Everything on tape is showing James Robinson's the RB1 in Jacksonville. I had a few people tell me that preseason. I didn't want to believe it, but here we are.
I mean, it's hard to believe. This man just came off that injury.
Yeah.
How long did it take?
The
6,
Achilles.
7?
Yeah, the same thing that Cam Akers dealt with, and he's come back and looked better in almost less time. He tore it at the end of last year. But the goal of the game is to win, not really to get me fantasy points. So if James Robinson keeps the ball moving, if they feel more confident, I think especially in pass protection with James Robinson, he's going to be on the field more often. It is what it is. But Jags W, I'm feeling pretty nice about it. You guys came off the W week 1. Week 2, different story. You guys played Mac Jones. How did that work out for the team? It was a snoozer. I'm sorry I did not watch the game.
It was boring.
But
it was boring. The highlights were even boring.
The highlights were even boring.
Because I couldn't watch the game, so I just did the highlights, and even that was boring to me. So, I mean, overall, my take from it is exactly what I said in the first week. Not efficient enough on the offense. I want to see more. I mean, we have a lot of athletes. I think it could be a thing with Matt Canada being a very kind of dry play caller. I don't like it. So people are talking about Kenny Pickett starting, and I think mostly everybody in Steelers Nation is wanting him to start. I think I'm like one of the only people that's going to say, let's give Mitch another week.
Keep Trubisky.
It's still week 3 for a rookie quarterback, a quarterback that a lot of people didn't even want to take in the first round in the draft, and it's asking a lot. Now, I'm not saying that I don't want to see him maybe in a couple weeks, but Mitch has been mostly safe. He's thrown 1 pick in the first 2 games. He's been keeping the ball in check, I guess what I would say. But he hasn't been efficient. But I also don't think the play calling has helped him very much. I also think he's playing very scared. I do want to see him start slinging it a little bit more, running out of the pocket. That's what he's good at.
Using them legs, yeah.
That's what I want to start seeing. If this week he still doesn't make that jump to that second level, not that we're expecting him to go very high, but to take that step forward and throw for over 200 passing yards and having a couple touchdowns, having a really good performance, then at that point, I would like to go to Kenny Pickett. So I want to still see another week out of him, though. It's still week 3.
Last week we hopped into prize pick lines. We talked about Mike Williams. Said that was an easy hammer. That boy hit it first quarter. This week I have a line for you for your Steeler boys because we're going to keep this up. Thursday night prize pick lines. They have Kenny Pickett. Not Kenny Pickett. They have Mitchell Trubisky, 200 passing yards. Over or under? He hasn't hit it in his last 7 games, I think was the stat.
How do
you feel against this Cleveland defense in Cleveland? Can he go over 200 yards?
Look, it's the same thing with Mike Williams. Would I bet money on it? Probably not. But I do think that Mitch feels the pressure a little bit. I went on Instagram and I went to the Steelers page, and the most recent post, I looked in the comments. All I see is Kenny Pickett. That's all I see. I don't see nothing else. Kenny Pickett time. So if that's the case, I do think Mitch feels that pressure a little bit. I do think he has himself a solid game. I'd say that he could get to that 230 range. But is that something I want to bet on? No. So would you bet on that?
On prize picks, and when I give picks, my thing's always been overs, no unders.
Mm-hmm.
I'd hammer the under. I'm sorry. I don't think he gets to 200 passing yards. I think this defense is really going to show out and bully him. And it's kind of echoing what BDGE said, but unfortunately we're coming out afterwards. I think the same. I think he might get benched this game.
Really?
I think they might bench him. I think they're going to see enough of what they need to see.
That's possible. That's possible. And that's why I wouldn't want to bet money on it. I do think that I want to see something. I want to say that he will take that step forward this game because he can feel that pressure. But when has Mitchell Trubisky really been much of a performer when it comes to pressure? So he hasn't done it in the past. So would I bet money on it? No. Would it be a surprise to me to see halftime see Kenny Pickett come in? That wouldn't be a surprise to me. If Mitchell Trubisky does not play whatsoever, I wouldn't even hate it, especially if the Cleveland Browns are destroying us. Not to say that they would, because we have a solid defense as well. But if they got to a point where it's a little bit out of hand, I would 100% want to see Kenny Pickett in there. So
the line I do like is Deontay Johnson. I think over 48.5 receiving yards. I feel like that's too low. Yes, he's more of a receptions guy instead of a yak or long yardage ability, but 40.5 still feels too low. So overs, no unders, I'll go over on that one for sure.
Still got Denzel Ward out there though. That's concerning to me.
Yeah,
that's concerning. But I don't think the offense is. I don't think they're going to score that many points. I do think that the Steelers are going to have
projected 38.5 combined. So that's really low. That's really low. I think one team is about a 6-point favorite, and 38.5 means they don't project any team to really get in that 20-point range.
Yeah.
So
tough. I don't know. You know what? You're right. Deontay Johnson at what? 44? You said
48.5.
48.5. Yeah, I'll take that.
I feel bad. I had to convince you. Those are your boys.
I mean, they are, but at the same time, if we're talking about the quarterback possibly getting benched at halftime, and then we're going to also in the same sentence talk about Deontay Johnson hitting that.
They still got to throw the ball.
I agree with what you're saying. But there's a lot of people to feed out there. I mean, I can see Pat Freiermuth having a decent day. For someone that's not going to throw a lot of yards, to say that just one guy is going to get the majority of them, I don't love that. That's why I'm not going to be like, yeah, let's hit it. Let's do it.
Bitch, I got to call you out a little bit, but I'm going to wait on that. Because we talked Deontay Johnson, and I wanted to make a deal to give you your boy in fantasy.
Let's talk about it.
And you won't. You're riding the Samuel.
No. He's talking about Curtis Samuel. It would be stupid of me right now to make that trade. It just wouldn't make sense. This man's off of 20-point games. This man's out here running the ball. He got 7 receptions this week. Last week he had about the same amount. So he still had a tutty both times. It is not the time yet.
Deontay Johnson.
I do love me Deontay Johnson. But what did you just say 5 minutes ago? We're talking about the quarterback. We're talking about the quarterback possibly getting benched. I don't love that. I don't love that. That's not a situation I want to be much a part of, even though I'm a Steelers fan when it comes to fantasy football. And I do have Deontay Johnson. You're acting like I just don't have him anywhere. I have him in probably the most important fantasy league I have.
If you gave me Christian Kirk for Curtis Samuel, I'd do that deal.
What did Christian Kirk do?
Really showing fandom. What did Christian Kirk do?
That's what I'm saying.
Ball out.
That's what I'm saying. Did Deontay Johnson ball out?
He did okay.
Hey man, he is going to give you a smooth 12 to 15 points every week. And I'm happy with that.
Exactly. I don't think there's anything to panic about.
I'm not panicked about him. I'm happy to have him.
Exactly.
But would I give up Curtis Samuel right now? No. I'm good.
You sound panicked, but there are things we are panicking about.
Okay.
These 5 teams. We're panicking about 5 teams in the NFL right now.
Okay.
PanicMeter segment. We're adding this because there's some teams that are supremely underperforming. And I feel like I'm a little bit more panicked than Matt is. Matt's a cool cat. Matt's not really worried. But me, I feel like there is room for panic for these teams.
There is room. I didn't say there wasn't room. I'm just saying it's week 2.
It's week 2, but I want to start off with a team that where a lot of people Super Bowl dark horse added a Hall of Fame quarterback, potentially. It's not etched in stone yet, but potential Super Bowl winning Hall of Fame quarterback, Russell Wilson, to an offense that was supposed to be elite. Added him, tandem of running backs in the backfield with Melvin Gordon, Javonte Williams. They're supposed to be doing well. Comes out, week 1 loss to Seattle. Rough. In my opinion, inexcusable. People say they went to Seattle. It's a good home field. It was Geno Smith. They shouldn't have lost.
Ugly.
Come back week 2 against the Texans. Should be a get-right game. Should be going crazy. Right? Offense should be celebrating in the end zone a lot.
Ugly again.
Came down to the wire. Ugly win. I am putting the blame on Nathaniel Hackett. I have this panic meter at like a 7.5 to an 8. I think to have this type of roster, to pay Russell Wilson this type of money, and then we have to decide, on 4th down, we're going to waste a lot of time, kick a 64-yard field goal and lose. And then last week, a lot of situations again in terms of clock management where he should be either calling a timeout or have a play ready. They're struggling to call the right plays. What is going on in Denver? And with a rookie head coach that people were already skeptical on, I feel like it's okay to be at a panic meter of a 7.5.
I mean, I'm not going to say that it's not okay. I mean, I can understand where people are going to be at if they do a 7.5, even if you're higher than that. But I'm at a 5. I mean, it's just, we're going into week 3. You still have a Hall of Fame quarterback. You still have an elite defense. You still have plenty of weapons. You have all the pieces there. They just need to get it together. And to sit here and panic on that just yet, I'm good on, because all the pieces are there. So I'm going to give them another week or 2. And if this happens for the next 2 weeks, my panic meter will go higher. I mean, even if they have another bad day coming up Sunday. They play Sunday?
Yeah. I don't think there's any bad weeks yet. So, yeah, they play coming up.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if they had like a Monday. No, definitely not Thursday, but Monday game.
Yeah.
But yeah, if they have another bad week, maybe I'll go to a 6. Another bad week after that, I'll probably be right there with you. 8.5 kind of level. But they still got Russell Wilson.
They're in the AFC West. That division has Justin Herbert, which, I mean, suffered a rib injury, so we're not sure what type of Justin Herbert we'll be seeing going forward. Patrick Mahomes, who they keep finding ways to win games.
Yep.
And then the Raiders, who are 0-2, another team we'll discuss soon. But they have Derek Carr, who you've been high on in the past. I've been okay on him as well, but he's underperformed to start the year a little bit. This is a division that we expected to be fireworks, and it'd be very difficult to be dropping games in this division.
Yep.
So when you start off against the Texans and the Seattle Seahawks led by Geno Smith, you should be looking good to open the year. You should start 2-0. Those are your gimme games. You got to take your gimme games, because then you're going to have to play 6 games against the division that it's going to be a gauntlet. And if you split, best case scenario, that's 3-3. You need those gimme games.
Yep.
So that's why my panic meter is kind of high on them, which leads me right into the Raiders. Same division, 0-2.
0-2. I want to point out something for the Denver Broncos real quick.
Yeah.
I mean, there are 4 good teams in that division. A lot of people were talking about even 3 of them making the playoffs.
Correct.
So am I expecting the Broncos to win the division? Probably not. But at the same time, no one really was expecting them. I mean, some people were, but
some people had them as dark horses to win the division with their defense.
Yeah.
I think before, obviously the Chargers added Khalil Mack and then J.C. Jackson, and they became like the defense with the most superstars. But before that, they were saying that Denver is one of the better assembled defenses in that division.
Yeah.
Now, obviously the Chargers, I say, was a little bit better set up, but all the offenses are high-powered. So it doesn't really matter what your defense looks like. There's going to be points scored.
Yeah.
Which is why their offense struggling so much is also a concern.
It is concerning. It is concerning, but like I said, you don't have to win the division. You just need to make the wild card. So let's give them some more time for me.
I don't think the Raiders are going to make the wild card now.
That's a tougher situation.
PanicMeter at 7. They add Devontae Adams. They add a new coach as well, Josh McDaniels, who failed as a head coach before in Denver.
Yep.
Went back home to Billy Belichick to get right. You thought he was going to stay there, wait for Belichick to retire, and then take the job. Leaves to go coach the Raiders.
Yep.
A lot of money, brand new stadium. Derek Carr is supposed to be, I don't want to say serviceable, but a better than average quarterback.
He's supposed to be an above average quarterback.
Yeah, above average quarterback. Offensive weapons of Darren Waller, added Adams, had Renfro. Running back group, Josh Jacobs,
Solid.
rookie Zamir White. Yeah, Amir Abdullah added in the offseason. Defense added Chandler Jones in the offseason. They're supposed to be doing big things in Vegas. 0-2 to start the year. First game against the Chargers, we knew that was a tough opener. Second game against the Cardinals, up
Still
by
tough
as
game.
much as 15 points and choke.
Yep.
Starting the season 0-2 in a division again, that's going to be an arms race to get to the finals. What is your panic meter on them? Mine's about a 7 again. But again, it's based on the division, obviously. But
yeah, it is tough. They looked better than the Broncos to me offensively. I think the first week Derek Carr threw like 3 picks. Take those away. I do think you get some better plays for them. They look a little better than the Broncos to me just from eye testing. The Broncos just seem like they're just completely not in check. Like they're not doing things on time. They're not snapping on time. They're getting a lot of fouls or flags. All those kind of things. Kind of confusing. But what's going on over there in the Raiders is they look a little better. They're 0-2 though. That's concerning, and I am concerned about that. But they have looked okay. They got a lot of nice weapons. Panic meter's at a 4.
Just a 4?
Just a 4.
I'm a little bit concerned about their usage of Devontae Adams. I don't think there's a shutdown corner on the Cardinals. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I still think there should have been ways to get Devontae Adams involved in the game. Week 1 did a great job of it. Week 2, he just seemed to have gone missing, and I don't know what could have caused that. So maybe that is more reason for concern, but I'm going to hold out at a 7 with them being an 0-2 team in a division that's going to be high-paced, a lot of scoring. In another division where I expect a lot of teams that are solid, AFC North, we have the Super Bowl appearing team, the Bengals, starting 0-2, which I think Chris would agree that there's a lot to be worried about. I know that's your team, Chris. But 0-2 with a supposedly better offensive line after appearing in the Super Bowl last year, how did we get to 0-2 when they've played Mitchell Trubisky and Cooper Rush? That's the big one. They've played the 2 easiest games, in my opinion, and they're at 0-2.
Very concerning. This one is also concerning to me because the line looks just awful. It does not seem like it was fixed from last year. So I'm at a 6 with them. I'm a little higher on them. I do think it's Joe Burrow. I'm a big believer in Joe Burrow. I do think they'll get it together at some point. But with that offense line the way it is, that was supposed to be like it's going to take them over the top. Get them right back to the Super Bowl. We haven't seen that. So until I've seen that, my panic level will go down. And at the same time, offensive plays didn't seem really creative. Running a lot of the same things. Don't love what I saw in the offensive play calling. So I'm good on that for right now. But that's why I'm at a 6. Maybe even like a 7. Maybe a 6.5.
Yeah.
We'll go with that.
The one thing I could say that gives me a little bit of solace in them is that division has question marks. You got the Ravens, who gave up 21-point lead in the fourth quarter pretty much to the high-paced Dolphins. You got the Browns, who right now have Brissett and choked a game against the Jets, but would have been 2-0, barring, again, giving up a lead. And then you have Pittsburgh, who has a lot of questions on offense, not many on defense.
Yeah.
So, if anything, they'll be able to kind of crawl their way back to the top of the division if anything happens. But there's still room for concern. You guys were supposed to make a bunch of off-season moves. There was supposed to be Lyle Collins being the bodyguard. I feel like Dallas targeted him more than anything else. You were supposed to have a little better secondary. You draft Dax Hill first round, I think, maybe early second. He's not even playing. I'm still watching Eli Apple get torched game after game. Noah Brown had a career day with Cooper Rush at quarterback. Again, you play Cooper Rush and Mitchell Trubisky. Did not force any turnovers. I don't know how. Yes, you guys played solid defense, but again, it's Mitchell Trubisky and Cooper Rush. We need turnovers.
You got to be able to take those.
We need turnovers. But because of the division, I'm probably around where you're at, 6.5 to 6, because I feel like they'll be able to crawl their way back to the top. A team that I am concerned about that I feel like won't necessarily be able to crawl their way back up to the top of the division Do I even want to say them?
Say them. Let's do it.
The Colts.
Concerning.
The Colts. And I mean, it's the AFC South, and I've joked that it's the best division in football. They add Matt Ryan in the offseason.
Yep.
That's supposed to be an upgrade from Carson Wentz. Hasn't looked like that yet.
Hasn't looked better yet.
Had a solid week 1 from an offensive production standpoint, but played to a tie with the Texans, and then get shut out week 2. Of course, they were missing their wide receiver 1, Michael Pittman.
But speaking of that, their wide receiver core past Michael Pittman, might as well have me out there.
I was about to say,
might as well have me lined up out there.
We might have to bring you out of retirement to play with the Colts.
Yeah.
Because Ashton Doolin, Mo Alley Cox.
Hey.
Hines was getting targeted crazy out the backfield. We know they like to use him in pass catching game, but there was really no wide receiver of consequence, which will lead me to the other team we'll talk about in this division that I'm worried about. But there was no wide receiver of consequence, so no matter how good your running back is, everybody's going to be locked in on him because they're like, he's your only weapon.
But the thing is like, why did they take so long to try to get Jonathan Taylor involved?
I don't know.
Why? They didn't have Michael Pittman. You'd think that they'd be relying on him. I have him on my team. Let me get into this real quick. Let me get into this real quick. This man got me 8 points. This man got 8 points against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Can we talk about that?
A little bit.
I mean, the Jags, okay, y'all showed out.
Defense.
Y'all showed out. I'm happy for y'all. Congratulations. But come on, Jonathan Taylor.
W.
8 points? By halftime, he had like 3 points.
Yeah.
I think I even texted you. I was very angry. Yeah. You can ask him. I was highly upset.
Highly upset. We have somebody behind the camera who also asked him on the team, was asking what was happening. What's going on? Where's JT?
Come on now.
This is supposed to be his matchup. High average, but again, in prior years, we had to worry about the pass a little bit. We were sitting down on the wide receivers on defense. We did not care. We had the box loaded. We said we dare Ashton Doolin, right? It sounds like when you played Madden career mode and you're in year 5 and they just start throwing players on there because all the real players start retiring. That's who the wide receiver core was. It's all shadowless faces. We don't know any of these guys, right? So they were like, yeah, we challenge you to beat us down the field with these guys. If they beat us down the field, you win the game. Cool. But we going to chance it. JT not beating us this week. 24-0. That was the result, right? Matt Ryan's looked rough. This offensive line that was supposed to be like top 6 graded, bullied. Mm-hmm. Bullied. I like Trevon Walker. I was a hater.
He's been doing his thing. You didn't even believe.
I did.
I don't want to hear it.
Week one, that pick, D-line pick, he's been bullying up front. Josh Allen showing out in the linebacking core. I'm loving it. Shaquille Griffin's still burnt toast. But we're dealing okay. We're dealing okay with what we got.
Clearly he's God because Jonathan Taylor got like 3 points at halftime. Right? Hey. Clearly this man's doing something right.
But I think there's reason for concern. This was another team everybody was like Super Bowl contender. Matt Ryan's going to put him over the top. Michael Pittman breaking.
I was never on that boat. Come on. Come on. We got the Chiefs out here. We really talking about Matt Ryan.
I'm not going to lie. I was on that boat a little bit for the click, though. When we were doing the schedule prediction, I did put Super Bowl.
Matt Ryan, Patrick Mahomes.
But I mean, AFC South, AFC West. Like, they could have won up. They could have reeled off a couple games. Could have gotten comfortable. Defense could have stepped up. Darius Leonard on that side, great tackler, great linebacker. But at 0-1-1, I'm hitting the panic button.
Nice.
I'm hitting the panic button just a tad bit because we don't know how serious the Michael Pittman injury is, and if we still have to see Ashton Doolin, I'm sorry, Ashton Doolin. I hope you're not subscribed to the channel. Hope none of your family members hear me roasting.
They got Paris Campbell.
Ashton Doolin, right? Like, let me go on a rant real quick. Paris Campbell, for 2.5 years, you've been the breakout player to look out for. Mm-hmm. Every offseason, I got to hear about Paris Campbell. Oh, Paris Campbell, Ohio State great. Oh, Paris Campbell, if he's just healthy. Oh, Paris Campbell. Did he even get a target?
I don't know.
I played him in DraftKings for he was like $3,900 salary in DraftKings. I was like, bet, he's the wide receiver 1 this week. It's on. Our secondary's awful. He's about to go crazy. Goose egg. Nothing. Did nothing. Nothing at all. I don't want to hear another thing about Paris Campbell. I don't even want to go to Paris now. I don't care.
Is that serious?
I hate Paris. Anything Paris. Paris Hilton?
You know what?
Don't even mention her name.
I think I have Paris Campbell on my team. Do you want to trade for him?
Yeah, I got you. You want one fab?
One fab.
$1 fab. No? Okay, cool. I was going to
You
give
know
it to you
what?
anyway.
Maybe. I'll get back to
I
you.
wasn't going to give it to you.
I'll get back to you on that.
I was going to pull the trade. I was going to offer it and then make it pop up for 30 seconds and then pull it. I don't want Paris Campbell. Nothing to do with Paris Campbell. And if anybody comes next year and is like, oh, this is the year, stop putting out content. Don't talk about Paris Campbell ever again.
All right.
He shouldn't even be a football player anymore. He should be making deli subs for Publix down the street. Chicken tender subs. That's what he deserves to be doing. No friggin' wide receiver, Paris Campbell.
No, Paris Campbell, I hope you go off.
He should give his contract
I hope
back.
you go off next week to prove
Go
this man
off
wrong.
to what? The pastures? They gonna put him out of the field? He not gonna be playing for the Colts
The
next
Pastors on the other side of the field when he's...
All right, man. With my luck, he's gonna go for like 5 catches, 125 yards, and 3 touchdowns
You
next
know
week.
what? I hope he does to prove you wrong. And we're going to clip it.
You gonna clip it? Hey,
Mm-hmm.
if Paris Campbell gets 3 catches next week, I don't have anything for you because he's not gonna get it. 3 catches. I think in his career he has
You
3
got to
catches.
give me Stephon Diggs in that one league.
Anyway, I've gone on my Paris Campbell rant. He didn't even deserve to be talked about. This, I don't even know.
He's
Why
supposed to
would
be
you
wide
even say
receiver too.
Paris Campbell?
He's literally the depth chart, wide receiver 2. Is he not noteworthy to talk about?
Anyway, there's reason for concern for the Colts. I have him at like a 5 though, because again it's the AFC South, who I don't have at a 5, which I'm gonna take my victory lap right now. Sorry, Roger, if you're watching this. The Tennessee Titans.
Okay.
I said they were gonna be bad. Chris clipped me joking around saying they'd be 5-12. They might not get 5 wins this year.
Nah, they'll get
awful.
5 wins.
They look atrocious.
They'll get
You
5
know what this teaches franchises? Pay your receivers.
Yeah,
A.J. Brown was an elite receiver.
he was.
Yes, he had a couple injuries and there was concern. He couldn't stay on the field. But check me out. He went over to Philly.
Mhm.
They are 2-0. He is a wide receiver 1 in that offense, playing with Jalen Hurts, elevating his game, making things easier for the rest of the offense.
At some point, I would love to talk about him.
Exactly. Looking great. You know what Ryan Tannehill could use these first 2 weeks? A receiver to throw to.
An elite receiver.
We like Treylon Burks. He's going to be a good receiver eventually. He's not quite there yet. He's not the A.J. Brown type of athlete. Stop calling him mini A.J. Brown. He's
I mean, he
Treylon
has
Burks.
some of the same characteristics.
He's Treylon Burks. Let him be Treylon Burks. He's not A.J. Brown. They don't just make A.J. Browns. Have you seen A.J. Brown? They're not just
he's a
pumping.
big dude.
Exactly. They're not just pumping
Freak
A.J.
athlete.
Browns out.
Also fast.
Exactly.
Doesn't make sense.
It don't like he played for Ole Miss in the SEC and produced. Yes, Treylon Burks is coming from Arkansas. They're a predominantly run heavy team, but if you look at their 2 bills and put them side by side, they're not the same player, right?
No.
So for them to be like, oh yeah, we will trade you A.J. Brown literally for Treylon Burks. That's pretty much all the deal was. They're reaping the fruits of that trade,
Yep.
right? A.J. Brown team 2-0, Titans 0-2. Derrick Henry used to have boxes that weren't as heavily loaded to run in because you had to worry about A.J. Brown going up the field. Nobody's checking for Kyle Phillips going up the field. Nobody cares if Robert Woods limps to the 10-yard line to get the first down. He still doesn't look that healthy.
Doesn't.
Treylon Burks still figuring out the NFL. He's a rookie. Nobody's worried about the passing game. So Derrick Henry's having to fight his way up for 5 yards. And from a fantasy perspective, you're not getting touchdowns with Derrick Henry anymore because that offense stinks.
Doesn't even get to the end zone.
Exactly. So he's still getting all the usage,
Not there.
but you're getting 8 points because he's getting 82 yards.
And luckily, I don't have him anywhere. You have him anywhere?
I traded him. In the one league I had him that like I kind of cared about, traded him for Devontae Adams, like almost 1-for-1.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's nice.
Yeah.
That's a nice one.
I had a decent running back core. It was like Saquon, JT, and Derrick Henry, so I could spare one, so I got rid of Derrick Henry.
Decent. Is this an 8-man league?
Nah,
What?
it's a 10-man dynasty.
You said Derrick Henry, JT.
Yeah, Saquon. Yeah.
Yeah, that's 8-man league.
Yeah. So I kind of was
Anyway.
like, I'll ship one off, so now I have JT, Saquon,
Okay.
Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones, you know.
Aaron
Aaron Jones.
Oh, my bad. Not an 8-man league. A 5-man league.
You know. 2-0, I mean.
Oh, my
okay,
God.
Right?
Let me join that league.
Hey, there's some bad teams in the league. That's not my fault. But without red zone touches, Derrick Henry's just a big grinding back.
Yep.
They don't have him involved in the passing game right now. That sucks for them as well. That defense is horrid. The Bills, literally, they waved the right flag at like the beginning of the fourth quarter last night. The Bills
Got whooped.
ran them off the field. Stephon Diggs was doing whatever he wanted. Josh Allen was doing whatever he wanted. And the week before, Saquon Barkley went for 165.
That boys look like they're just having fun.
Exactly.
They're just having fun playing.
They're just playing in the backyard when they play the Titans. Right? Tannehill on the bench just stressing. Malik Willis is like, I'm cool waiting. I don't want to get in right now.
Did you actually see the video of him on the sidelines? Like when they were playing?
Yeah.
He was like, ready to get in.
He's like, yeah, I wouldn't. Not your time, kid.
Yeah, I don't know about that time.
Wait it out. 41-7, 41-3, whatever it was. Wait it out.
But I mean, if you're in that position, you gotta take your opportunities when you get them.
I guess, but I don't want to throw to Kyle Phillips.
Hey, bro, I got Kyle Phillips on my taxi squad. Let's put some respect on that man's name.
I mean, he's better than Paris Campbell. He's already outproduced Paris Campbell's entire career in
also
like 2 games.
Too.
What?
Also in fumbles too.
Ooh.
And fumbling like crazy.
He muffs punts crazy. But
I think
PanicMeter, and this is disrespectful, I have it at a 2 because I expected this. I expected them to suck. I had them at 5-12. They're 0-2, and I don't think their schedule gets any easier. They get to play. Is it us next week? I don't think it's us next week. But when they play us, we're going to stomp them. They've had our number. Like, Derrick Henry has bullied my team for 2 years. I've had to watch Derrick Henry put my defense in a coffin for 2 years. He ran for like 200 yards against us one Thursday night. I was closing the back office. You know, I was like, I'm going to throw the game on. I'm kind of fast. I can watch the game while I close the back office. And I watch him run for a 99-yard touchdown. Literally, right out of the end zone. 99 yards. Mm-hmm. Pushing DBs. Stopping. Waiting for them to get there. Pushing them out of bounds. Jogging into the end zone. I had to watch him do that 2 times that year. Because the next time he played us, we still didn't figure it out. He went for like 160.
Here's the thing, though. Like, they're going to beat y'all.
No.
I'll put a 5 on that.
They're not going to beat anybody.
They're going to beat the Jags, though.
No.
Yeah, they will.
I don't think so.
Okay, if you're that confident about it.
We are great now.
If
playoff bound. AFC South winners.
If the Jags beat the Titans. No. If the Titans beat the Jags, I get Stephon Diggs.
Why do you think I'm just going to give you one of the best players in fantasy because you want to bet? Say $1. Say $1. Say lunch.
I said put a 5, but you didn't say anything.
Okay, 5, yeah. We can put 5 on it.
Okay.
I'll do that. It's the easiest 5 of my entire life, probably.
Yeah, I think you said that last time we bet.
No, I don't talk about that. But yeah, my panic meter on them is a 2. You said it's only 2 weeks in. They're not that bad. State your case.
Who said they weren't that bad?
You. I said they're going to go 5-12.
No, because 5 wins, come on. I think they game at least pull out of 7.
Did you see Taylor Lewan go down last night? One of the best offensive linemen?
Yeah, that man never says nothing.
Yeah, but now you don't have receivers to run behind who?
The King. I don't know. Maybe you're right. After you pleaded your case, I kind of was
Who's he going to run behind? You? Me?
Me.
Colex Leatherwood. Shouts out the boy from Pensacola. You played him in high school.
I did.
He's jobless. He could go get a job for the Titans.
He could.
First round pick. He probably chilling though. If I was a first round pick and I got cut, I'd be like, darn. Gotta go home with my millions.
You gotta get some
no. Do I? I can live off 40
You can live off of a backup job.
I can live off 40 mil. I could go coach high school football for first round, like first 20 mil for the first round? I'm assuming. We might have to check the contract.
Mil. That's how much like some quarterbacks make a year.
No, I'm talking like the full length of his contract. He got cut, obviously, but I feel like...
I thought like rookie contracts were affordable. That's why people like them. So 40 million don't sound affordable to me.
Isn't it 40 million for like 4 years? Like 10 million a year? I don't know. I might be overestimating.
You might be right. Honestly, I have no idea, to be honest with you. You could be right.
I think I'm wrong.
But I feel like that's expensive. Because that's how much like some quarterbacks get paid a year.
I'm definitely wrong. But I still feel like he's got enough money to go home and sit. Go coach Pine Forest High School. Right? He could come back, be a hometown hero, never have to worry about working a real job again. Just be a high school coach.
Washington.
He went to Booker?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm like 87% sure.
I mean, you played against him.
I did. I want to say it was Washington. I'm like I said.
You can't even remember the jersey because he kind of mushed you.
I mean,
I said he kind of body juiced you.
I try to give him a little block. I'm 5'6". I was like a little receiver. I didn't have the tub right here.
They can't even see the tub. You sure it's out.
Well, I mean,
you can probably see the tub.
I mean, you might see it. If you can't see it, I'm not like I was back then. But back then, I was a little skinnier.
I like the heart though. You went for it.
I tried.
I wouldn't have.
I tried. I saw him coming.
I would be like, whoa.
Like I was on the left hand side. I was on the receiver side. some kind of play went around me. That wasn't supposed to happen. I wasn't expecting to be blocking or anything. But it went over to me, and I saw him. He's playing D lineman because he played both ways because the man was a beast. And so he starts running over here, and I'm like, I gotta pick up a block. I look over, that's the biggest target there. Like couldn't miss I can't see nothing else because it's him. He's the threat. So,
you had to neutralize the threat.
So I like lunged my body at him. Swear to God, he didn't even move. Swear to God. He probably made the tackle too.
He's like realize what's going on here. Like there's football players and there's like test takers. Like go study for the FCAT, whatever you do. Let me do my job. I'm about to be out of here.
He was meant to be there. I was just happy.
You were happy to be there
until that point.
He was built for that. You were like, it's cool. After school, go do something. It's good for the high school resume. It's all good. Y'all are both not in the NFL now, so who's winning?
Yeah.
Sorry, Alex Leatherwood.
Hey.
Sorry, millionaire.
I got a job.
Ooh.
At a grocery store. I mean, I got a job.
You trying to box him?
No.
Oh, dang. I was trying to set up a celebrity boxing.
I was just talking about how this man didn't even move.
You're talking smack though. You said you got a job. You said he jobless.
Okay.
You said he waiting in the unemployment line.
Alex Leatherwood, chill out, bro.
You said
this man might live around here, bro.
I know. Right? And he gonna pull up I'm kidding. I'm not finna put your publics out there. I'm not finna put your publics out there. We got way off topic. Really? We talking about you getting bodied. How you feel about the Titans? We were talking about you getting a job with the Titans.
And after hearing you, they're buns. No, they're buns. 5 wins sounds, that sounds about right. Now that after you talking about it, they do got Robert Woods out there. Treylon Burks looking all right. Little mini AJ Brown. They still got the king. They might be. They're going to get 5 wins just based off of that. But other than that, they definitely be in the Jags though. 100%.
I got a hot take for y'all. If you have Derrick Henry on your roster right now as a dynasty player, you ain't going to be able to move him. That's it. He's retiring on your...
You can move him right now.
If you move him right now, if you take the absolute low deal, you could probably try to finesse a first still. Like 1 first, you might be able to finesse a first out of somebody who's kind of like a rookie dynasty player. But you should not be trading your first for Derrick Henry. I'm sorry. Rule 1 of dynasty.
I'm not out on him yet.
Don't. That offense is bad.
Out on him yet.
That offense
he's worth
is
a first-round pick. Would I give up a first-round pick? Probably not. But I don't need I don't need that bad. I could still see somebody doing that, and I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't be like, that was the worst thing of all time.
He doesn't catch passes.
It's been 2 games.
He's going to see the red zone probably twice this year.
Games.
Okay.
I'm just saying, look, let's just see. He's still a king. We're really disrespecting Derrick Henry right now.
We're disrespecting the team. I still think he's a good athlete. I think he's lost a bit of burst.
He is the king.
But his offense is the trash. His offense is garbage. Basura. Bilingual. You didn't know I was...
shut up.
Yeah. We both speak Spanish.
I do like that you got that from the top. I do like that.
Yeah, it's right out. It's easy.
Yeah, 2 edits. Basura.
Exactly. Okay, he's going advanced on me. That's like
all right.
That's like senior year of Spanish. I only stopped at sophomore year. Anyway,
I'm not out on Derrick Henry yet.
Neither am I.
I would say dynasty.
That offense is bad.
Dynasty, you gotta move him. Yeah, you gotta.
In redraft, you could probably hope that he shows something
redraft, I think you're chilling
at this point. But in dynasty, if you're no matter what part of your team, what direction your team's going in, if you're in rebuild mode, he definitely shouldn't be there. If you're in championship mode, you might need to ship him off while you can and still get back an asset. You might be able to. Would you do this deal? This just popped up in my head. Yeah. Travis Etienne for Derrick Henry, 1-for-1 in dynasty.
Dynasty, you gotta go Travis Etienne.
Okay. I was about to end the show if you said otherwise.
No, I was gonna say Derrick Henry doesn't really give you much, whereas Travis Etienne could have years of possibilities. So
that's smart.
Yeah.
I respect that.
You really tested me out here like
that. I had to.
I've been done for saying Derrick. I'm out on Etienne right now, but Dynasty's most
going forward. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Okay. So hopping into this week, what do you need to see about these 5 teams that we're hitting the panic button on? Titans, I don't think there's anything to see. 0-3. That's my prediction. We can skip over them. Colts, how you feeling?
The receiving core got to do more, and Jonathan Taylor needs to be more involved.
That's weird to say, isn't it?
I shouldn't be saying
Jonathan Taylor needs to get more points.
Yeah, I shouldn't be saying that.
That's weird.
Yeah. 8 points.
It should be easy. It should be 40 carries.
Yeah,
if you're starting Ashton, I forget his name. I could call him whatever. Dublin, whatever his name is. If you're starting him in your wide receiving core and Alec Pierce, which there were people who were touting him to be something. I'm glad he's buns because we knew he wasn't going to be anything. Rookie? Yeah. Don't talk rookie though. Garrett Wilson blew up this week. Drake London blew up this week. Jahan Dotson been blowing up. I don't want to hear
You're not wrong. I'm just saying, rookie. Look, let's give him some more time. It's been 2 games. Relax. 2 games.
But the Colts need to, if that's their receiving core, JT 40 touches a game, minimum.
Literally, as halftime, this man only had like 5 carries. I'm not even playing. I don't know. I don't know the exact number.
I think it's that,
but it was something that low, and I just don't get that.
Maybe
no,
lower.
if you don't have a receiving core like that. He needs to be a part of screens. He needs to be, 2 downs worthy of runs. Like, it just needs to be like that. I don't understand why that happened.
Denver. Touchdowns. We need to see touchdowns. We need to see red zone conversions. I make fun of the Jags for struggling in that area. Denver's looked worse than us in the red zone. Week 1 looks a lot different if they score 3 touchdowns in the red zone instead of fumble on the 1-yard line 3 times.
I agree, but I would say I need stability.
Well, that's cool.
I need stability. I need everybody on the team to know what they're doing. I need the head coach to get the time management under control. I need Russell Wilson to get it together. I need everybody just for stability. If they can start doing their assignments and do the small things right, I think that what you're talking about will be the result. So,
Bengals, protect your QB.
Got to.
Joe Burrow's been the most sacked quarterback since he's entered the league. He missed half his rookie year, Matt. He didn't even play 2 full years in the league. Yeah. Been the most sacked. I think he's on pace to get sacked like over 80 times this year already. He's in rough shape. Protect your QB and get creative with the play calls.
Gotta get creative.
Get creative with the play calls.
That's what I would say.
Scott Frost got fired from Nebraska. I'm a UCF fan. He was really creative with our play calls like 4 years ago. Go hire that man to be like the offensive coordinator for your team or like assistant to the offensive coordinator. I mean, it didn't work out in Nebraska. He got fired, but still, he was creative. So go out there, find a playbook, talk to Sean McVay, do something. You were a Sean McVay like disciple or whatever they said. Call your boy, try to figure something out. I'm forgetting one team. There's one other team we were worried about.
While you're thinking about that, I will say
Raiders. But you go ahead.
Bengals, obviously, you got to protect Joe Burrow. That's your future right there.
Yes.
We got to do something about that. More creative plays, quicker plays, things that, quick reads. Just get some easy completions. You have some great athletes on your team. Get them in space. I mean, Jamar Chase, one of the best yak receivers in the league. Get him the ball. You have Joe Mixon. You have what you need to get it done. So I don't need to see Joe Burrow, stepping back for 3-4 seconds trying to find somebody. It needs to be quicker than that. So
that's fair. And Raiders, what do we need out of the Raiders? They're also in that division that's going to be very competitive. 0-2 should be 1-1 in my opinion, but 0-2 doesn't matter how the ball falls. What do they have to figure out to make this work? Because their defense hasn't been poor, but their offense has seemed out of sorts.
Protect the ball. That's what I want to see more. I mean, Derek Carr first week had 3 interceptions. There was fumbling issues. I believe Derek Carr had a pick, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm pretty sure.
Week 2. Got to protect the ball. They're putting out some decent points. They're doing some decent things, but they're giving the ball to the other team way too often, giving the other team more opportunities. Imagine, you take away a fumble or take away a pick last game. You're probably having a different conversation right now. Derek Carr doesn't have 3 interceptions first game. I'm sure they'd be in a good place right now. So if Derek Carr can protect the ball, I also want to see a little more from Derek Carr in general. I want to see more of that above-average play that I have been believing in him. And I'm not out on him yet. I'm not worried about it yet, but I do want to see a step up. Protect the ball.
Okay, I think that's solid. I feel like that's a good stopping point. I feel like we can end there. We did want to get into a little bit of fantasy talk about the guys we were worried about last week. This week looked a lot brighter, but I don't think it's time to just be like, oh, it's fixed. So we're going to give him another week to adjust. Mike Williams, we want to see him again.
What I said?
You did.
I said don't panic.
But you also didn't want to bet on that line, so I don't want to hear anything.
Yeah.
Also,
I'm not a betting man.
It was 66.5 with no other receiver.
I'm not a betting man. I'm sorry.
It was 66.5 with no other receiver there. That was free money.
I won't bet, but I will bet on the Jags losing. Sorry, go ahead.
Allen Robinson, still not as involved as I'd like, but got more involved. So positives. Cam Akers. Still looks bad, but getting more involved. So we'll give him another week to kind of build up and see where we at. Next week, we'll do a full recap of all the guys we were worried about. And if they go back to struggling, we might have a different conversation. As of now, Teal and Steele, 2-2 on the year, 1-1 for the Steelers, 1-1 for the Jags. We'll see what we're able to do this year. I'm predicting a Jags W because I'm feeling like we figured it out. It's back to Saxonville. We balling. We balling again. Who needs Jalen Ramsey? Who needs Calais Campbell? Who needs Allen Robinson? Who needs... Never mind. The Steelers, you know what? I'm riding with the Steelers on Thursday. They're going to put Kenny Pickett in at halftime. They're going to get Mr. Trubisky out of there. We're going to see Deontay Johnson go for exactly 86 yards and 7 catches. Clip that. Yep. That's what I'm feeling.
That's what he just did.
7 catches, 86 yards, and a tutty. That's what I'm feeling.
And a tutty. I do think he finds that in this week.
So, if you like playing, you like bets. Deontay Johnson, anytime touchdown, that's what we feeling this week. Also, thank y'all for tuning in to the KickNPost channel. Thank y'all for tuning in to the second straight week of Teal and Steele. We're going to keep this thing going, and we'll catch y'all on the next episode. Peace.
Thank you.
Freaking Aiden, I'm finna wipe his phone. That's my camera.
What'd you do?
It ran out of space.
It went out.
Yeah. I heard bing! And I was like,
We're going to have to come up with cues, or I'm going to have to laminate pages with cues.